people, Stephanie here, and today we're taking a look at some wooden whistles from a German brand called Meinel. Now, these whistles came from BigWhistle.co.uk. If you've watched my channel before and any of my millions of reviews, you'll know that I get a lot of whistles from BigWhistle. It's a UK-based online store that sells whistles from all over the world, pre-owned, brand new, high whistles, low whistles, every material imaginable, and it's great if you're UK-based or even European-based sometimes. You can get whistles from further afield without needing to pay any additional fees or taxes, and it's a great place to browse a load of whistles all in one place. I will put links to bigwhistle.co.uk in the description down below. It's not an affiliate link, I don't make any money. It's just there if you want to check it out and go and see what whistles they have available. So as I said, today we're looking at the German brand called Meinel. We'll go through a general sound and tone test so you can hear how these whistles sound. I'll show you some close-ups. We'll also do a tuning and volume test as well so you can compare to other whistles that you've heard or seen or that you have yourself, and we'll find out whether these could be the next whistles to add to your collection. Let's get into it. We'll start with the high D whistle. As you can see, it's in this nice protective case. It comes with a carry handle and it's padded to give your whistle extra protection. It's Velcro sealed at the top, and the whistle itself is in this beautiful light coloured maple. It's not actually a perfectly straight bore. The bore narrows and then widens again for a fluted style tip. On the inside, we actually have a little cleaning rod, which is basically a little woolen pom-pom on the end of a metal stick. And this allows you to clean the whistle inside and remove any excess moisture when you've been playing to keep the wood nice and dry, which is what we're looking for when maintaining wooden whistles. You can see it's actually got a nice sheen to the wood. I assume you can also oil these instruments. I oil a lot of my wooden whistles and Native American flutes, and that just helps keep the wood supple and prevent cracking or breaking. If we take a look at the mouthpiece, you'll see we have the brand name at the front here. It's quite a short, stumpy little mouthpiece, but it's quite comfortable in the mouth, which is great. And these whistles are tunable. So we have a nice, professionally finished cork seal here, and a neat and tight fitting seal, which makes this whistle tunable and easily adjustable. As we go down, you can see the holes are nicely finished, a nice size. There's no indication of the key of the instrument, so you just know when you buy, but it might be something they might add in future. The low D whistle is stored in two parts in its bright red case. This is more of a leather style case and isn't padded. It is Velcro sealed at the top, and this one I've left in its tissue paper wrapping. I have played both of these whistles, but I just wanted to show how they actually arrive. And as I mentioned, there are two parts. So one for the mouthpiece and one for the body. Again, this whistle is in this lovely light maple colour. We have a slight widening here to accommodate the tuning slide. Again, a nicely finished cork tuning slide. Lovely tight fit, which is great. And of course, a similar shape to the body. So we've got a slight narrowing and this wider fluted end. Again, inside this whistle, we have a cleaning rod, which is a much larger version. Again, allows you to remove any moisture buildup from inside the body of the whistle. If we take a look at this larger mouthpiece, you can see we have the name embossed here at the top. Again, the sort of short, dumpy looking little mouthpiece, quite wide. All very nice and smoothly finished, which is great. The tuning slide, I love this little hint of where things are in the wood, which is really nice. And as we go down the body, on the back of this one, we actually have Made in Germany written on the back. Again, no indication of key, but this is a low D whistle, so let's hear how they sound. Now, it's always important to warm whistles up before you play them, and with wooden whistles in particular, they can come in a little bit flat to start with, and they take a little bit more warming up to actually hit that perfect pitch. So let me give this a warm up, and we'll play a few things, and we'll see if we can hear it warming into itself. Actually, the wetter a wooden whistle gets as well, things start to swell slightly and they can sound a little different as we play. So this is a tune called Midna's Lament. I put a tutorial out for this earlier on in the week. So as you can hear from the dry versus wet playthrough, these whistles really improve in tone and intonation the more you play them in one session and one sitting. So if you wanted to play this in a session, I would highly recommend playing it for like half hour before you even get there. And then trying to keep that moisture within the mouthpiece. As disgusting as it sounds, licking this, putting some spit on it actually makes it sound so much better. But I suppose it's kind of like a reed instrument in so much as that they also sound so much better when you wet the wood. So let's take a look at the tuning now they're warmed up, and we'll also do a little sound check as well. So you might have noticed in the tuning test and the volume test some patterns with these whistles. Currently, the high octave on both of these whistles is really loud and really well tuned. It's singing perfectly, the notes are nice and clear and rich and resonant, and they're playing at perfect pitch. They're easy to hit those notes, and it's easy to play. The volume is quite substantial in the second octave, which means you'll be heard if you're playing higher notes alongside other instruments, and that's fantastic. As for the lower octave on both of these whistles, it's currently out of tune. It's not hitting those notes, and I tried as best I could, even with the tuning slides pushed right in on both of these whistles and blowing as much as I could before breaking into the second octave, I still couldn't get the lower octave notes in tune. So at the moment they're running slightly flat. You'll also have noticed that the low notes on both of these whistles are considerably quieter than the higher notes. I'm pretty sure that both of these things are something that are going to improve the more these whistles are oiled and the more these whistles are played. At the moment, I think because these whistles are brand new and they've travelled and they haven't had a lot of care and they haven't been played, they're not really hitting where they should be hitting on that low octave. But as you can hear on the top and higher octave, they sound fantastic. So be prepared that if you do buy wooden whistles and you buy these Meinel whistles, they might take a few weeks of playing and practice and oiling and care to create a really rich, pitch perfect and vibrant sound. But if you've got the patience to stick with these, then they're going to be pretty special. So let's go over some of the pros and cons of the low D whistle first. It looks fantastic. It's made from a high quality wood and it's professionally finished. It has a rich, deep, resonant sound, and it's pretty reasonably priced at £150. The second octave is perfectly in tune, and it's also tunable, so as it changes as you play, you can adjust to playing with other instruments at perfect pitch. On the downside, it is a little heavy because it's made of this thick, solid wood. So if you have problems with arthritis or you struggle to grip anything, this probably won't be the best choice for you. The holes are pretty easy to cover, but this second hole is a little on the larger side. So if you have slim fingers or a lack of mobility in your fingers, you might find this second hole a little bit difficult to cover, which means that you might get some squeaking notes. In general, it's pretty easy to hit the low notes, and it doesn't need all that much to hit the second octave, but as you get into the higher notes, as in the high A and B, they're quite difficult to hit unless you've got a good bit of breath control and a good bit of push. You might need a decent lung capacity to play a whistle like this. But if you can stick with it and you've got the patience and the time, then this is going to be a fantastic sounding whistle. For pros and cons on the high whistle, firstly, it is actually quite lightweight as far as whistles go. It's got a beautiful professional look to it, and it's got that lovely rich mellow sound. This one is easy to play through both octaves, low and high. So I don't see any reason why anybody would really have any problems with this whistle. It's tunable, it sounds great, and at £50, it's pretty well priced for a wooden whistle. On the downside, again, it's going to take that little bit of extra work to get those low notes in tune, and they are at the moment considerably quieter than the high notes. So if you did want to play in the low octave in a session, this whistle is probably going to be drowned out pretty easily. Wooden whistles also, as I've mentioned in this video, have that little extra element of care, so they will need cleaning and oiling, they need to be left out to dry, and you need to be really careful with the blade on these whistles. So there's a little bit of extra care required. That's probably one of the very few downsides of a wooden whistle. Now obviously the prices of these whistles will change on BigWhistle and directly from the maker, but if you're watching in April 2026 and you'd like to get these whistles, I have linked the BigWhistle website in the description down below so you can go and take a look. I hope this video was helpful. If you guys have questions, comments or suggestions, please do leave them down below. And if you have any other whistle queries or whistles you'd like me to review, let me know in the comments as well. Thanks so much for watching, happy whistling, and I'll see you guys again next week for some exciting tin whistle tunes. Bye!